Hi, I'm Curtis, and I built Match the Memory. I'm going to show you how you can edit your own personalized matching game. Starting at any Match the Memory page, you can click on the My Account button to get into your own user page. From there, go to the Games tab to see all of the memory games that you've created. Click the pencil icon next to any game to start editing that game. I'm going to finish setting up the chocolate candy game that I created in my last video. There are three main tabs in the Edit page: Game Details, Picture Upload, and Cards. When you first create a game, the system starts you off in the Picture Upload tab, because you already made the most important choices that are under Game Details back on the Create page. So we'll start by adding some pictures. For my chocolate game, I have several candy bar images on my computer. When you upload pictures into Match the Memory, like I'm doing with this Three Musketeers image, the system is smart enough to automatically add those pictures to any new cards that you haven't yet touched. You can see that this image has been added to the first card in my game. If I go check this card, I can see that not only has the picture itself been applied to the card, but also the text and the title for that card have also been set to the file name from the image. For this reason, it's very important that you name your files what you want before you upload them. If this file had been named screenshot from some date, or some funky file name from my camera, that's what would be showing up on my card right now, and I'd have to go through and change the text and title after the fact. This automatic renaming of the cards makes it very easy to automatically populate a whole bunch of cards all at once. You can see the system chew through all the pictures that I'm uploading, and after it's done, my game is basically complete. But for your sake, let's go through all the options that you can set for any given card. We put in some defaults when we created the game, but you can change a lot of things on a per-card basis. First, the title. This is mostly for your reference, to tell one card from another while you're editing. But it also shows up on the game listing pages to show people what they can expect when they choose a specific game. It also shows as the title of a match pop-up window for this card in the gameplay screen. We'll get to that in a minute. The next option is you can choose the card type. For a full recap of how all the card types work, check out my previous video about the Game Create page. On most matching games, it makes sense for all the cards to have the same card type, for a feeling of consistency, but you can adjust any card to make its matches work the way that you want. The next option for this card is the text that goes on it. Because I named my files with the text that I wanted on the card before I uploaded them, I don't have to change much here. I could add some text, like to say, Three Musketeers is my favorite candy bar. When I put that much text onto this card, it overflows and goes off the side of the card. You can see the error message that I get, telling me that it's too wide and that I should try to split up the text onto multiple lines. I can do this by using the Enter key. I'll put my favorite candy bar on the second line, which makes all of the text fit well on this card. Since this game is more of a simple listing of the candy bars, not personalized to me, I'll just describe what's on the card by writing Three Musketeers. Up next, we can tweak the text placement, where the text shows up on the card. Again, I usually like to have the entire game be the same, but in some cases the picture may have something important happening in this area, and you'd want to move the text out of the way. For cards that are the text picture type, it's generally best to have the text in the middle center, and when you have cards that are the text over picture type, it's usually best to have the text in the bottom center. The next option is background color under text. This is only really relevant when you've got text over part of the picture, and it makes the text more legible by distinguishing it from the image. Next, you can choose a different picture to put onto this card. Most of the time you won't need to do this, because the system automatically adds any pictures you upload to cards that don't have anything on them yet. But sometimes you decide that a different photo would be better, or you want to put a picture on the back of your cards. We'll get to that in a bit, and you can do that here. We'll use one of these default images that are on the site to illustrate how the picture placement option works. When this is stretch, the image fills the card in one direction or the other, so that you can see all of the picture and it doesn't get squished out of proportion. If there's room, you'll also see some of the background color on either side. When the picture placement option is center, the image keeps its original width and height, and aspect ratio, and just hangs out in the middle of the card, with the background color surrounding it. When the picture placement option is tile, the image gets copied onto the card as many times as it'll fit, both vertically and horizontally, to fill the card. That's sometimes a good choice for things that you want to have tiled. But a lot of times I see people upload images that weren't meant to be copied over and over, and it looks pretty silly. It's better to have this kind of picture be stretch. Most pictures that you will upload are bigger than the card itself, so there's not any difference between the stretch and center picture placement options. The last option on each card is the Match Pop-Up. This is a little window that pops up on the actual gameplay page when the user gets a match. You don't have to include a match pop-up, but it can be a delightful little extra. You can see the match pop-up preview over here on the right. The simplest thing is to just add normal text, like a message. I love Three Musketeers, or you found the match. But you can also use markdown text to include stuff like headings, lists, links, and images. There's a handy link to commonmark.org to show what kinds of things are available and how you can format your message to look how you want. For example, on the Snickers card, I can include an animated GIF in the pop-up showing how awesome Snickers are. Beyond what Markdown does by itself, the system automatically embeds some media. For example, if you put a bare URL to a YouTube video, like this scene from The Office about the Kit Kat Gimme a Break song, the game screen will include that video right in the Match pop-up window. The same thing works with Vimeo videos, Facebook and Twitter posts, and Flickr images, among many other providers. Finally, if you decide that you have added too many cards, you can delete any card you choose. On the other hand, if you don't have enough cards, you can always add a new one. That's the basics of the Cards tab. Now we'll go back to the Game Details tab, where we can see 3 different areas: General, Front, and Back. Most of this allows you to update some of the information you set up when you created your game. Under General, you can set whether the game should be public and/or purchasable. You can add tags like candy or sweets. You can choose the layout from portrait, landscape, and square. And you can enter something into the winner pop-up box. This does the same thing as the individual cards match pop-up, with text and markdown and links and embeds. Only this message shows in a little window on the gameplay page once the player completes all of the matches in the game. Under the Front section, you can tweak the design of the cards when they're flipped up or matched. Set the background color, text size, and font however you like. Similarly, under Back, you can change what the game looks like at the beginning of the game, before any matches are flipped up. This is independent of the Front, so you can use different colors, text sizes, and fonts. You can also make the Back have its own card type, text, and image. I think it's nice when the Front and the Back complement each other, but look distinct from one another. For example, you could swap the background and text colors on the back. Or you could use a similar color, a lighter or darker version of the main color that's on the front of the cards. So that's all the stuff you can configure on a Match the Memory game. Now you're done with your game, and you can go play it to see how it looks. If you don't like what you see, come back to the edit page to change things up. I hope you enjoy making your own personalized matching games on Match the Memory, and that the people you share those games with will enjoy playing them. Thanks for watching.